Today we're exposing 5 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Number 1. The government's mind control experiment. Imagine waking up in a hospital, confused, drugged, and unable to remember what happened. Now imagine the government did this to you, on purpose. That's exactly what happened during MK Ultra, a top-secret CIA project in the 1950s and 60s. Their mission? To control the human mind. Under the cover of national security, the CIA dosed people with LSD, electroshocked their brains, and tried hypnosis, often without their consent. Soldiers, prisoners, even everyday citizens became test subjects in one of the most disturbing government experiments ever conducted. For years, people who spoke about it were labeled as paranoid conspiracy theorists. But in 1975, declassified documents proved it was all real. And here's the craziest part. Some believe MK Ultra never really ended. Before we continue, I'd like to ask you to subscribe for more videos like this. Number 2. The government's secret war on its own citizens. Think the government just watches criminals? Think again. In the 1950s and 60s, the FBI launched COINTELPRO, a secret program designed to spy on and destroy American citizens. Their targets? Civil rights leaders, anti-war activists, and anyone who spoke out against the government. The FBI infiltrated organizations, spread fake news, and even tried to blackmail Martin Luther King Jr. into suicide. For years, people called it a conspiracy theory. But in 1971, a group of activists broke into an FBI office and leaked the files to the press. The government was forced to admit it was true. If they did it, then what are they doing now? Number 3. A billion-dollar industry's deadly lie for decades. Cigarette companies told us smoking was safe. Doctors even endorsed it. But behind closed doors, they knew the truth. As early as the 1950s, internal documents from major tobacco companies revealed they had scientific proof that cigarettes cause cancer. Instead of warning the public, they launched one of the biggest misinformation campaigns in history. They paid off doctors, buried studies, and even created fake research to convince people that smoking wasn't dangerous. It wasn't until the 1990s that whistleblowers exposed the truth. Big Tobacco was forced to pay out billions in lawsuits, but by then, millions of lives had already been lost. Number 4. A government poisoning its own people. During Prohibition, alcohol was illegal. But did you know the U.S. government actually poisoned it on purpose? As people turned to bootleg liquor, the government got desperate to stop them. Their solution? Contaminate industrial alcohol with toxic chemicals, knowing bootleggers would use it for drinks. The result? Thousands of people were poisoned and killed. But instead of stopping, the government doubled down. Some officials even believed the deaths were a good way to scare people into sobriety. To this day, most people have never even heard of this. And the scariest part? We only know because of leaked records. If they were willing to do this, what else have they justified in the name of public safety? Number 5. A corporate cover-up that affected the whole world. A small town in West Virginia, a mysterious illness, and a massive corporate cover-up. For decades, a major corporation used a highly toxic substance in everyday household products, despite knowing it was poisoning people. The problem? They covered it up. By the time the truth came out, thousands of people were already sick. The company was forced to pay out hundreds of millions in settlements, but the damage had already been done. And here's the terrifying part. The chemical is still in the environment today. Scientists say it's in 99% of human bloodstreams. They got away with it for decades. How many other corporations are doing the same thing right now? For years, people laughed at those who questioned the official story. But as history has shown, sometimes the so-called crazy ones were right all along. And if these were real, what else are they hiding?